A massive cover. Let's start the show. Well, the Gateway Pundit reports that the FBI continues to try to reframe what happened to Donald Trump, even saying he might not have been shot. Well, it looks like Senator Johnson has something to weigh in on the FBI claims of the would-be assassin Thomas Crooks being a MAGA terrorist. Let's see what they have to say. It goes on to say here that on Tuesday night, Senator Ron Johnson joined Laura Ingraham to discuss the Secret Service and FBI's Tawdry testimony before the Senate committee earlier today. U.S. Secret Service Acting Director Ronald Rowe and FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate provided updates on the ongoing investigation into the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump and the murder of one of Trump's supporters in Butler, Pennsylvania. During the testimony, the FBI shamelessly attempted to link deceased killer Matthew Crooks, the would-be assassin of former President Donald Trump, to a social media purportedly filled with anti-immigrant and anti-Semitic rhetoric. Oh, color me shocked. Despite the initial reports that the investigation had found no threatening posts on Crooks' social media accounts, Deputy Director Abate claimed new evidence had surfaced. Now remember, earlier on, they were talking about the fact how the would-be assassin had no social media. So the narrative for the first week or two was that there was zero social media presence. And then they find his social media presence, as we'll look at in a moment. And suddenly we find out, oh, he's anti-Semitic. He's a right-wing terrorist. Well, look, I mean, he could be anti-Semitic, but that doesn't really make sense why a right-winger would take out Trump. Well, he said, something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributed to the shooter, appeared to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigrant themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature. This should not surprise Americans who have been paying attention. The shady FBI is now trying to tie killer Thomas Crooks to right-wing extremists. Soon after Abate's comments, Gab founder Andrew Torba posted the video on his platform. I want to play it for you here, as it's rather disheartening, I should say, at the very least. Here's what they had to say.
And social media accounts. Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were over 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature. While the investigative team is still working to verify this account to determine if it did in fact belong to the shooter, we believe it important to share and note it today, particularly given the general absence of other information to date from social media and other sources of information that reflect on the shooter's potential motive and mindset. These are the facts, in part, that the investigation has revealed to date. While the shooter is dead, our work is very much ongoing.
Well, obviously, you remember Christopher Wray coming out and saying that, maybe Trump was actually hit with shrapnel. And then when actually asked if Thomas Crooks fired 8 shots in order to confirm that there was definitely not a second shooter, he continued to deflect, saying, well, we found 8 cartridges at the scene, thus continuing to have a very tricky legal wording and not giving us a lot of information. Now, Andrew Torba explained here on his recent post, the founder of Gab, that the FBI is now claiming that the Trump shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, had an unspecified social media account in 2019 and 2020 when he was 14 and 15 years old and posted anti-immigrant and anti-Semitic content. This is not consistent with Gab's understanding of the shooter's motives based on an emergency disclosure request we received from the FBI last week for the Gab account Epic Microwave, which, based on the content of the EDR, the FBI appeared to think belonged to Thomas Crooks. Many, particularly regime media reporters, have doubted Gab's claims that this request existed. Normally, we don't confirm the existence or content of law enforcement communications. In this instance, we had to make an exception due to the overwhelming public interest in disclosure and transparency. As a courtesy of law enforcement, we are not going to post the entire request. This is the first page of the request. The story is this: the account for which data was requested was unequivocally pro-Biden, and in particular, pro-Biden's immigration policy. To the best of Gab's knowledge, as of 2021, Crooks was a pro-lockdown, pro-immigration, left-wing Joe Biden supporter, and he posted the information there. Now, it comes to no surprise, as he definitely, to Andrew Torba, definitely posted the evidence. You can go down and you can see it directly. I'm going to go ahead and post the images here, and we'll talk about them in a moment. But I want to remind you that the government is lying. They're saying the economy is good, but yet, over half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and many people out there see their dollar losing its value every single day. Well, what if I were to tell you that there's a pathway to protect your retirement, your savings, and your investments, and not have to worry about the fiat currency, which of course is inflating every single moment, and you can get less and less with your US dollar. That's why real Americans are converting their hard-earned money into real gold and silver, but not just gold and silver buying at any store, with a trusted partner, the #1 trusted gold and silver company, Goldco. Goldco is not only helping Americans protect their retirement and savings, but they're helping make sure that your money goes further and continues to work for you. This is so important right now. Not only is Goldco offering a free gold and silver kit, but on qualified purchases, they'll give you up to a 10% instant match when you invest in bonus silver. Visit vnngold.com to find out how you can diversify and protect your savings from inept government with physical gold and silver and get a return on your money. This offer will only last until all bonus silver is gone, so act now. Check it out at vnngold.com, vnngold.com. Now, as I mentioned here, we'd go over these things. This was the other week. We said approximately 30 minutes ago, Gab learned that Thomas Crooks, the deranged Joe Biden supporter who attempted to assassinate President Donald Trump, may have had an account on our platform. We are unable to confirm that the account in question actually belonged to him. The account was last active on the site in 2021. As far as we are aware, the account did not use the site to send any direct messages. He posted on the site 9 times total. While the account made very few posts on the site, the majority of them were in support of President Biden. A number of posts in particular expressed support for President Biden's COVID lockdowns, his policies, and executive orders. So we're not just talking about a nonchalant account that had neutral ideas. This account was apparently pro-Biden, which also shows that, Gab is not some sort of Nazi right-wing extremist site. It's just a free speech platform. Continue to use it, and it remains a solid use of our time. Make sure that if you like this video, you like it. Drop a comment, and you can subscribe and get these videos daily on our X or Rumble account. We are at Vigilant News. But if you want these videos direct to your inbox, make sure you sign up for our newsletter at vigilantnews.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.